You were always the smart one, the one who aced tests without studying, who teachers called a gifted, who friends said, "I wish I had your brain." But now, you're overwhelmed, paralyzed, stuck in a loop of overthinking, underdoing, and deep down you're asking, what happened to me? Chapter 1. The Identity Trap and Why Being Smart Became Your Cage. Let's be real, being called smart felt amazing. It was validation. It was identity. But no one told you? Those 4 words were a Trojan horse. Psychologists call this narcissistic vulnerability, when your self-worth is built on something you didn't earn, like being born with blue eyes and then basing your entire personality on it. When your value becomes tied to effortless brilliance, you start avoiding anything where you might struggle, because struggle equal to proof you're not actually smart, right? Wrong. The secret? Your brain doesn't grow when things are easy. It grows when you're confused, when you fail, when you say, "I don't get this yet." Neuroscience proves it. Neuroplasticity means your brain physically rewires itself through challenge. But if you've spent your life avoiding discomfort, you've been starving your own growth. Real-life example, Elon Musk didn't become a rocket scientist because he was born knowing physics. He became one because he read textbooks in the bathroom while running Tesla. He embraced being a beginner, publicly. Secret 1. Your intelligence was never the problem. It was your relationship with struggle that broke you. Chapter 2. The Perfectionism Paralysis, Why You're Busy But Going Nowhere. Raise your hand if this sounds familiar. 17 tabs open. 5 unfinished Notion pages. A journal full of "I'll start tomorrow." You're not lazy, you're terrified. Perfectionism isn't about high standards. It's about emotional survival. You're not trying to do your best. You're trying to avoid shame. And that creates a loop. 1. You delay starting because you fear imperfection. 2. You rush at the last minute. 3. The result is mediocre. 4. You think, "See, I'm not that smart anymore." 5. The cycle repeats. Harvard research calls this the procrastination amplification loop. The more you avoid effort, the more effort feels dangerous. Real-life example, J.K. Rowling's first Harry Potter manuscript was rejected 12 times. She didn't hide. She didn't quit. She said, "Fine, I'll write the next one." Secret 2. Done is better than perfect. But more importantly, imperfect action rewires your brain to tolerate risk. Try this. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Do the thing badly. Type garbage. Sketch nonsense. Record a terrible first take. Just start. The magic isn't in the output, it's in breaking the paralysis. Chapter 3. The Comparison Spiral. Why you feel behind everyone else. You scroll, you see a college friend launching a startup, an ex-classmate publishing a book, a random influencer making $10K/month doing nothing, and you feel small. But here's the truth. You're not comparing yourself to them. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. And worse, you're comparing your potential to their progress. They didn't win the race. They just started running while you were still tying your shoes. Stanford calls this temporal comparison bias. We compare our present to someone else's future, forgetting they had a past full of failure too. Real-life example, Mr. Beast didn't go viral overnight. His first 100 videos had under 100 views. He kept going, not because he was confident, but because he decided consistency talent. Secret 3. Stop asking, "Why aren't I there yet?" Start asking, "What are they doing that I'm avoiding?" Usually the answer is, they're willing to suck for longer. Chapter 4. The Fear of Starting Over. No, it's not too late. Here's the lie you've been fed. You had your chance, you peaked early, it's too late. But what if I told you that your brain is designed to reinvent itself at any age? Neuroplasticity doesn't expire. At 25, 35, 45, your brain can learn Mandarin, build a business, or master piano. If you're willing to be bad first, the problem isn't time, it's identity. You don't want to be a beginner again because it feels like failing your younger self. But here's the plot twist. Growth isn't linear, it's spiral. You don't move forward in a straight line, you circle back, wiser, stronger, more intentional. Real-life example. Samuel L. Jackson didn't become famous until age 46. Before that, he struggled with addiction, unemployment, and obscurity. Then he said, "I'll start over, again." Secret 4. Starting over isn't defeat, it's strategic repositioning. And every expert was once a beginner who refused to quit. Chapter 5. The Growth Mindset Shift. Your brain is a muscle, not a trophy. Carol Dweck's research at Stanford changed everything. There are 2 mindsets fixed. I am smart, a struggle threat. Growth, I can get smarter. Struggle fuel. You were raised in a fixed system, grades, rankings. You're so gifted. But real life doesn't reward being smart, it rewards becoming smarter. Every time you avoid discomfort, you're telling your brain, stay small, stay safe. But when you lean into challenge, you activate dopamine-driven learning. Your brain literally rewards effort. Real-life example, Thomas Edison didn't fail 1,000 times. He succeeded 1,000 times in learning what doesn't work. Same process, different mindset. Secret #5. Your greatest superpower isn't your IQ. It's your willingness to keep going when others quit. Chapter 6. Embracing productive struggle. The 1% rule. Not all struggle is good. There's toxic suffering, burnout, overwork, and productive struggle. Focused, intentional discomfort. The key? The 1% rule. Every day, do something that's just 1% harder than your comfort zone. Send that email with a typo. Post a video without editing it 10 times. Try a new skill and let someone see you suck. This isn't about massive leaps, it's about micro-resilience. Tiny moments of courage that rewire your nervous system. UCLA studies show people who practice deliberate discomfort for 30 days see a 40% increase in confidence and 32% drop in anxiety. Secret 6. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in spite of it. And every small risk makes the next one easier. Chapter 7. Finding joy in not knowing. The beginner's superpower. Remember when you were 6? You asked why 100 times a day. You weren't trying to impress anyone. You were just curious. But somewhere along the way, curiosity got replaced by performance. Now, you don't explore new things because you're afraid of looking dumb. But here's the secret. Not knowing is the only place where growth happens. Admitting I don't know isn't weakness. It's epistemic humility, a fancy term for I'm open to learning. Real-life example. Leonardo da Vinci filled 7,000 pages with notes, sketches, and failed experiments. He wasn't the genius. He was the ultimate beginner. Secret 7. The fastest way to learn? Be the dumbest person in the room. Then stay there until you're not. Chapter 8. Building a life beyond smart identity diversification. You are not your grades, not your job title, not your IQ. Your identity should be like a stool supported by multiple legs. Kindness, creativity, resilience, curiosity, presence. When one leg wobbles, say your career, the others keep you upright. Try this. Write down 5 things you love about yourself that have nothing to do with achievement. Struggle, that's the point. You've been trained to value output, not being. Secret 8. Your worth isn't earned, it's inherited. Just by being human. Everything else is just expression. Chapter 9. Redefining success on your terms. Success isn't 1M followers, a 6-figure salary, being called brilliant. Success is waking up excited, sleeping without guilt, feeling like you're becoming, not just achieving. Ask yourself, what kind of life would make me feel alive? Not what your parents wanted, not what society expects. You. Maybe it's writing, teaching, building, healing, starting over. The final secret? You were never meant to be the smart one. You were meant to be the one who kept going, even when it hurt, even when you doubted, even when you had to start from zero. Conclusion. The call to start today. Look, you're not broken. You're awakening. The discomfort you feel? It's not a sign you've failed. It's a sign you're ready to evolve. So here's your mission. Today, do one thing that scares you. Send the message. Start the project. Say, I don't know. And mean it. Not for views, not for validation. For you. Because the world doesn't need another smart kid. It needs someone brave enough to begin again. And that someone? It's you. If this hit deep, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I'm starting today. Let's build a community of people who aren't afraid to grow.